In this week's Blizz Pro Weekly, BlizzCon 2015 merchandise hits the Blizzard store. Diablo is the stepchild they don't want to acknowledge. The Treasure Goblin heads back into the vault from the Nexus. Overwatch beta begins, and some more tinfoil hat things and data mining stuffs.
Hey everyone, Long Care Don't Care here. We are filming October 18th, 2015. Since our last recording, a lot of stuff has happened in Overwatch and WoW. But first, let's talk a little BlizzCon. New this year at BlizzCon is the Dark Moon Fair, which has a bunch of collectibles you can acquire, meet community managers, community members, aka live streamers because fansites are so 2012, and get a chance to meet, greet, and listen to some of Diablo 3's development team. The BlizzCon store has been moved to a new hall. It will be bigger this year, and they will open the store the day before BlizzCon. That just means they will be out of all the stuff that you want to buy even faster. What are you looking forward to the most at BlizzCon? Let us know down in the comments. With WoW Legion already announced, StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void released the following week, what is there left for BlizzCon? It doesn't look like we'll get any new game reveals. We'll likely hear about what's next in Hearthstone, expecting some kind of expansion or adventuring mode, and also information on upcoming features. We will hear about new heroes and possible features in Heroes of the Storm. We will learn more about what's coming in WoW Legion, and last but not least, a big Overwatch dump, where with Microsoft showing up and streaming on Xbox One, makes me wonder if we'll be seeing Overwatch coming to consoles. Last but not least, there's been an announcement that Linkin Park will be the closing act. How do you feel about that? Let us know down in the comments. The BlizzCon schedule was released prematurely in the week and with only one Diablo panel. It was a near sure bet we just wouldn't be getting the Diablo 3 expansion announcement. Now the schedule on map has been officially released, and other than a very small corner in the Dark Moon Fair, there's no real playable area for Diablo 3. Wonder what's going on with that. Now let's toss it to spades with World of Warcraft.
Here's the beef.
Spades here. Blizzard revealed some of the changes and additions coming to the PTR for testing inclusions in patch 6.23. One notable addition is the inclusion of 8 new dungeons to the existing list of Time Walking dungeons. 6 Cataclysm dungeons, Grim Bottle, Stonecore, Lost City of Tovir, the Vortex Pinnacle, Throne of Tides, and End Time, along with the Magister's Terrace from the Burning Crusade and the Pit of Sauron from Wrath of the Lich King, will be available on appropriate weekends. Along with the additional dungeons, a new mount is being added that has the potential to be looted from any boss in a Time Walking dungeon. The Infinite Time Reaver is modeled after Morazan from the End of Time dungeon. The Moose Mount announced previously is also planned to be added to the oncoming patch as an added bonus for players who defeat Archmon on heroic or mythic difficulty. Upon his defeat, players will be rewarded with a mysterious artifact, which begins a quest to take them to the Moonglades, where the Druids will reward you with this amount. This will only be available for a limited time. The current plan is to retire the quest in an update before launch of Legion, so be sure to get it soon. To help players along the way in obtaining the gift of the Grove Warden, item upgrades are being re-implemented. Yes, indeed. During the oncoming patch, as a part of the upgrade process, Valor Points are returning as a currency, which can be used to upgrade items at vendors located in Stormwind, Orgrimmar, Storm Shield, and War Spear. Valor can be earned by completing heroic and mythic dungeons and LFR. This gives everyone an opportunity to obtain Valor, regardless of their item or skill level. Along with Valor Points, items earned through participations in mythic dungeons will have the potential to have an item level as high as 725, and Baleful items can now potentially come at an item level of up to 695. Both of these items can randomly receive upgrades in 5 item level increments depending on the player's personal luck. Hope you're lucky. Mythic dungeons now have also the chance to drop an heirloom trinket, which scales to level 110. Arena Season 3 will also begin during this patch, which means Season 2 is drawing to a close. There's no official end date yet, so there's still some time to earn those rewards. Season 3 will include new PvP gear sets, warmongering aspirant gear at PvP item level 715, warmongering combatant gear at level 730, and warmongering gladiator at level 740. The last chance of note, for now, is patch 6.2.3 will be enabling of cross-realm mythic raiding. Yes. Got a buddy that's across servers? You now can join them, which will allow players to join their friends on different servers to participate in the most difficult PvE encounters currently available. And now, to Greg.
Nobody's going to pay to see this.
Okay, so Lieutenant Morales has been out for a few weeks now, and as it turns out, we weren't all going crazy. Dustin Browder himself stated that the medic win rate is a little low, and the balance team is thinking about a small health buff. While this doesn't sound like it'll be a huge buff, we know Blizzard takes their time before making any drastic changes to a hero. The last thing they want to do is overbuff Morales right before the World Championships at BlizzCon. What possible changes would you all like to see made to the medic in the future? Make sure to let us know in the comments. If you've been waiting to get your hands on the Treasure Goblin mount, make sure to do so before it makes its way back to the vault and disappears from the store on October 27th. Let's hop into some Diablo news.
Stay a while and listen.
So the past week hasn't been the most exciting week for the Diablo community, along with the news that its presence at BlizzCon, well, to be honest, we just don't blame people for being disappointed in it. While the Slaughtered Calf Inn will be located in the Darkmoon Fair sounds amazing in itself, the fact that there's only one blocked off hour for Diablo to discuss new content and features of Reaper of Souls all weekend is a little less than enticing. However, the one Diablo panel at BlizzCon is named The Blood and Treasure, new content and features of Reaper of Souls, with a description that states join the Diablo development team to learn about new zones, new sets, new legendary powers, new monsters, features, and more. Oh, by the way, Shadow, good luck getting Paul the camera guy out of that area all weekend at BlizzCon. Could we be getting more than one zone with each content patch? They could possibly be scraping the idea of an expansion and will just drop expansion-like features with content patches. Let's be honest here, the Kanai's Cube is most definitely an expansion-worthy feature. There's also the idea of adding cosmetic microtransactions for things like banners, bank tabs, portraits, and pets. This would help fund these type of content patches, which is honestly not a bad idea. Maybe they scrap the expansion in favor for developing a new Diablo game.
You want a piece of me, boy?
Unfortunately, Clover is currently locked in a locker right now, and no one has the key or the lock code, so we'll try to get her out after the show. But for StarCraft, Blizzard has released some enticing news about the oncoming patch 3.0 coming to StarCraft. This patch is for everyone, whether you own Wings of Liberty, Hearts of the Swarm, and even just the Starter Edition. Some of the new features include 3D artwork access, all the main navigation pages. Chat will be, in their words, both persistent and consistent, meaning that all active chat channels will be listed in a single window that will stay open across the entire interface. The arcade will be divided into two sections, Join and Browse. Join will be for games that have open lobbies. As you click through the available games, you can see info on the match, so you can make a more informed decision before you join in, all from the same page. Browse will be more for top played games, a list which the developers have apparently modified the criteria for. Their goal is to get more games to make it in the top of the list. Also, with the patch, Blizzard has managed to break many of the currently existing map hacks. So I guess everyone's going to have to play fair for a while till the internet catches up with the patch. There is this question of lag. So far, the indications are that if you run the patch on an older machine, it may not run as smoothly as it did in previous patches. What are your thoughts on lag? Or maybe having to upgrade your current system in order to keep up with the current gaming status of the game. That's all for From Clover? What? And a few more quick notes from Clover, who's still locked in the locker. locker. Carrier build time was nerfed. Cyclone was buffed, and it does not look like Cyclone's rework is coming. So sorry to hear that, but Clover obviously wanted you guys to know that. That's StarCraft.
The world could always use more heroes.
Alright, so last week for Overwatch, I mentioned that we should just kind of hang tight and hope for the best. Well, the best is pretty much here, actually. They have finally announced that the Overwatch beta is going to begin on October 27th. So, pretty cool, kind of what I was waiting for. Also, we've had some Twitch streams going on the past week. A lot of information on them, frankly. There's you can actually go back and see the VODs of them now if you didn't catch them. Just kind of search on YouTube, perhaps Overwatch Twitch, and then you'll start seeing them. But there's a ton of information in them, just a flat-out explosion of stuff here for you guys. For one, we've got in-game voice communication support. That's pretty cool. There's really no information on how many people are going to be invited to this beta, but we aren't thinking it's going to be a very high number initially. But I know that there are going to be some weekends where they're doing stress tests, where they're going to allow more people in. And at this point, it is still going to be a reduced version of the game, but I mean, it's finally the first taste of it that I know a lot of people have been looking forward to, myself included. And presently, this is just for North America. Actually, there's no information on whether or not EU or any of the other regions are going to start in the beta anytime soon. Right now, they seem to just be focusing on North America. But anyway, there's going to be controller support in the game. There's also no information on whether or not it's going to be out on consoles yet. Presently, they seem like they're pretty committed to the PC version, but I mean, we do have Microsoft sponsoring BlizzCon in part, so who knows? Could be something there, something to watch out for sure. But I do know that there will be an in-game button that has an emote system for team communication, similar to the one in Heroes of the Storm. Other just quick notes are that kill streaks don't stay when you get resurrected, something to think about. We've also got certain skins that are being considered for the game, and it's a highly requested feature for sure, but as of right now, the only cosmetic items so far are portraits, certain sprays, and skin tints that'll be available through some sort of progression system. And the other interesting thing is that there are some stats that are shown at the end of each game. You'll see these quite a few times if you watch the Twitch VODs, but they display 4 cards of various stats that you've had throughout the game, and who got the best amount of kills, etc. And players can actually vote who they think did the best in the match. And as of right now, it's just kind of a fluff thing, not really anything substantial about it, but it's kind of cool to see some sort of positive feedback system already built into this game. So now let's go ahead and talk some Hearthstone.
Pull up a chair by the hearth.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here today to mourn the loss of our dear friend, the Warsong Commander. It seems like just last week I was saying that you were so strong in your Patron Warrior deck. In fact, you were so strong that the 2 players who brought you to the Americas Championships, Hot Form and Purple, also made it to the finals against each other. So, some would say that you were too strong, enabling the Patron Warrior deck to do all of the charging and board flooding that you were capable of. But now, because of this, it seems as though you've passed on. You are being changed to give charge minions +1 attack instead of your normal ability to cause anything from 3 attack or below to charge, as long as you're on the board. So, naturally, the Grim Patron Warrior deck is also gone, along with you, and will never be the same. I know a lot of people are concerned that this will have an impact on BlizzCon, of course, with the World Championship coming up. But some say that this change is long overdue, as Patron Warrior has dominated the meta and the Tempo Storm meta snapshot for as long as anyone can remember. Now, senior game designer Ben Brode mentioned that he thinks that this card needed the change so that they can move forward a little bit easier. It was limiting some of their design choices on future minions that have 3 or fewer attack. So I guess I kind of understand that. And, well, actually, frankly, Patron Warrior games were getting so boring to watch that good riddance. Who cares? I don't really want to see you anymore, so I don't mind that Warsong Commander is now about as bad as the Raid Leader card. Maybe even worse. So, good riddance there. Anyway, in other Hearthstone news, just briefly, we've got some initial data mining of the phone patch that was deployed to the Amazon app, and it's actually revealed something really interesting. There are a couple tidbits in there which make reference to a co-op tavern brawl. So that could get kind of cool. I wonder what other co-op modes might come out of this, you know? And of course, lastly, I wanted to take a moment to congratulate the BlizzPro co-founder Eldorian at making Legend this month. You finally did it, buddy. You graduated into Legend. I'm so proud of you. You've come so far. Well, that about does it for another awkward week here on BlizzPro Weekly. Be sure to check out our other BlizzPro shows. We've got, of course, the Well Met Hearthstone podcast, Twizcast for all things Blizzard Talking Heads. We've got the Heroes of the Storm Power Hour, West March Workshop for Diablo, and of course you can also check out the Zords on our own podcast called Lords of the Storm, where this week we went over Tyrande, or however you pronounce her name.